Central Texas. Welcome to KISS Community Connections 103.1 KISS FM. I'm Phyllis Jones, your host for this morning. And you know what, Texas, Killeen area, I'm not liking the weather. You know, I'm the 40-degree person, so I need some 40 degrees real bad because it's 80s and 90s. Got to go. It's November. November is my favorite month of the year, and you know, y'all treat me wrong here because I want some cold weather back, but I'm gonna say it till I get it too. And this year I'm getting some snow for the holidays. So everybody get ready to get your boots on because I'm the 40-degree person. But you know, last week, or actually week before last, I'm looking on Facebook as I do, strolling through, and I stopped on the story. It was about a man and actually talking about water. And I've been learning a lot about water lately because I learned that our city that we live in and several cities, we don't own the rights to our water. I've learned about farmers in outlying areas, drought season and not enough rain. And, you know, so I became really concerned about it. Like, what can we do? I know something's got to be done. I mean, I know that there's got to be a way to fix this, to repair it, to something. But I never heard anybody come up with anything other than we're having a drought. Things going to be expensive this year, and that's it. That's all you really hear. And like I said, the ideal of we not owning our water, someone else having the rights to sell it, sounded pretty scary to me. I guess because I'm not from here or whatever, but it sounded pretty scary to me. But anyway, I was looking on Facebook, and I ran across an article that like stopped me. And the article was about a man who's has a machine. And he's actually teaching people how, you know, the drought season doesn't have to exist. I'll say it like that. And, you know, so I began to read the article. And after I read the article, I'm like, okay, now I got to find out who's it about. So I did. And I realized that it was about a man. His name is Moses West. And then I was shocked that he lives in Texas. In fact, I'll say from us down the street, which is 45 minutes down the street. So, you know, I've been to search. I'm like, okay, now I got to contact him and get him on the show. And if everybody knows me, I'm going to search and find whatever I need to find. I'm not going to give up. So I did. I inboxed him. I'm like, okay, now I got to hope that he inboxed me back because he might say, I don't know who the strange person is, but he did. And I'm talking to him right now. He's on the show, and we're going to discuss this. So good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, except for it's 90-degree weather.
Get used to it. It's the new normal.
Don't say that.
I'm sorry.
You're going to make me move back to Alaska or something.
Don't worry. It'll be warm up there, too.
See, now you tortured. But anyway, like I said, I read about you on Facebook first.
Yes. And
it said Moses West. I'm going to say the word wrong. I know, but atmospheric water generator solutions.
Yes, that's it.
I said it right? Wow. I've been practicing for like a few days.
Okay.
To get that right. But exactly what is that?
What it is an atmospheric water generator. It's really very simple. And sometimes the most simple of ideas are the hardest for people to understand.
Right.
If something is just too simple, people just say, it's too simple. I don't believe it.
Right.
But it's basic science here. We have 3 sources of water, and they teach us that in 2nd and 3rd grade when they teach us about the hydrologic cycle.
Right.
So we have water in 3 forms: a liquid, a solid, and a gas, right?
Okay, yes.
And so all the liquid water, what you mentioned earlier, which is either disappearing or too contaminated to drink, and we have droughts.
Okay.
So all of our surface water is disappearing. And if you look at the last statistics that they just put out, a lot of people don't know that right now, in our present situation around the world, 1 in 6 people die every year due to contamination, pollution.
Yeah.
That's an incredible number.
It is. It really is.
So going back to that 3 sources of water, I figured out, I said, okay, look, if our groundwater is contaminated, but yet it rains and it keeps filling up these streams, and you can't go get ice, we're actually walking around in our water, in the humidity in the air. And so anybody who's lived in Texas or been down to Houston, you sit out there and your glasses sweat and your car windows steam up when you have your air conditioner on.
Right.
That's just the moisture in the air. And that moisture in the air can be removed with the advancements of technology to harvest it. So basically what an atmospheric water generator does is it harvests the moisture from the air, which is the most abundant water source that we have.
Right.
And earlier you mentioned that you were worried about your water?
Yes.
Where you would get it from?
Yes.
Shoot. We have I built a little machine for the military that does over 100 gallons a day.
Wow.
Close to 200 gallons a day that you can plug into your wall and sit behind your house. It make water pure enough to exceed EPA standards.
Man. So it's
Put some solar panels on your roof. You can run it. Put up a wind turbine. You can run one of the big units and make 2,000 gallons of water a day. Just pulling it from the air.
Man. So why doesn't everybody know?
That's the thing. This is a very nefarious kind of business. There's a lot of greed involved in it.
Right.
It's scheduled to be probably I think it's a $9.6 billion business within 5 years.
Wow.
It's pretty cutthroat out there in this, because basically what you're doing is if you have the big unit, the one you saw in the KVU the KVU profile piece.
Right. Yes.
If you have that unit, you can be your own bottled water company. If you're pulling, that unit will pull out 8,400 liters of water a day. In these conditions, you could sell a liter of water, pure water, as pure as this machine pulls it out of the air. You could sell a liter for $2.
Wow.
So if you have one of these machines,
right,
you have just become your own bottled water company.
Man.
And it does it at a power consumption rating that if you're selling water at $2 a liter, your return on your investment on a machine, you get it back in a couple of months.
See, that's like phenomenal.
Yeah,
because
it is. And that's part of what holds it back, because what I've been doing is I've been working to get it approved.
Okay.
So what I had to do is I had to go through the Texas Commission of Environmental Quality.
Right.
And complete all the water tests there and the evaluation. Had to do the 90-day pilot project to have it as a public water system. And from getting it evaluated as a public water system, I had to go to I presented to the Texas Water Development Board, and then that's when the military came on, and we did the testing for them to evaluate it, and Trinity University did that evaluation. And we passed it, and that's what I've been doing for the past few years, is taking those necessary steps to get it approved, instead of just making something and throwing it on the market and then having the regulators come after me. I finished the regulation up front, so now I'm done.
So do you go to, I say, universities or speak at large places to teach people?
Yes, ma'am, I have. I've I think it's the Sierra Club down in San Antonio. Sierra Club knows about it. I briefed the state of Texas, the Texas Agricultural Commission. Work closely with Texas A&M. I briefed the Texas Resource Commission. I briefed some of our state representatives, Representative Casal, Representative Lyle Larson. Representative Casal, his district is over there in over where Texas A&M is.
Okay.
College Station, that area.
Right, right.
And we've looked at using it for aquifer storage and recovery, actually using it to recharge the aquifer. I actually have the patent to do that.
Man.
So I have a few patents on this for the mass production of water. So people know about it, but it's just getting people to take that first initial step, because I think people are very comfortable with their water supplies, and most people don't know where their water comes from.
Exactly.
So you turn on the tap, so it's coming from somewhere, but most people don't know.
Wow. So we need to, so how can we, and I'll say we because a bunch of us, help you get the word out?
The best thing to do right now is I started that webpage to keep everybody up to date after the KVU special was so successful.
Right.
And right now is mainly just sharing, getting the word out, and people will come in to take a closer look at this technology. But right now, what I'm doing is I'm getting ready to take one of the big units to Puerto Rico.
Ah, okay.
Oh, definitely. Here I have a unit that can produce close to 10,000 liters a day in those conditions down there.
Right.
So if you produce 10,000 liters of water, or 8 to 10,000 in the conditions that they have down there,
Mm-hmm.
even on a bad day, if you produce just 5,000, 5 to 6,000, 7,000, that's 7,000 people that can drink, because you need at least 1 liter of water to drink every day.
Right.
So you're talking one machine, eliminating the supply train, taking trucks off the road, and providing water right there at the spot with no need for any infrastructure. Just the one machine doing that. So that's my next goal. It's to get it out of the country.
What about just St. Thomas? Because they're equally.
Yes, they are.
Right.
And I think what will happen, what I'm looking at, is people need to know about the technology.
Right.
And when they see it in operation, the federal government tends to move slow. FEMA moves slow.
Yes.
And people aren't very happy with them right now. But if you look at the Constitution, what does it say at the very top of it?
Oh.
It says, "We the people."
Yes.
And so basically, I actually feel now that it is us. It's we the people that's going to get that will get this technology out to people who need it, to the homeowners that need it, the ranchers that need it, and we need to stop depending on our other agencies to do it for us. At the grassroots, we need to do it ourselves.
You're right.
Here's a technology that lets you stay in your home when everyone else's water turns dirty.
Man, so, okay, along with doing this radio show, which I do, I'm also the Central Texas Area Coordinator for the NAACP, and I'm also the State Education Chair for the NAACP. So I can hold workshops wherever I want to, wherever in Texas, anywhere. And also I do conference calls with all education chairs across Texas. And often I'll invite, because to me, everything is education. So I can talk about, you know what I mean? So I don't have to talk about reading and all that, but everything we talk about is education and to get the word out. So could I have you one day on a conference call to talk about what you do?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's some facts that people don't know. And this is one thing that motivates me, and it has absolutely scared me to death. Most people here in Texas do not know that in less than 20 years, the aquifer that is under our feet will no longer be able to support the population in Texas. That's how much the population is going to grow.
Right.
And here we have this is happening all over the world as we speak.
I know that's the scary part.
Yeah, it's the scary part. But here's the absolutely ludicrous part. We have proven without a doubt here in the state of Texas, proven without a doubt,
right,
that the atmosphere is a source of water. I mean, we learned this. It's child's play to me now. We learned this in 2nd and 3rd grade.
That's true.
You see the little picture of everybody remembers this, and I actually showed it in some briefings. You see the clouds evaporate over the ocean, then you see the cloud move over the land, and then it'll stop at the mountain, then the rain will come down, and then it'll flow across the fields and flow back to the ocean.
Right.
That's called the hydrologic cycle. But the hydrologic cycle with a warming planet has been disrupted. And so in actuality now, we have more moisture in the atmosphere than we have ever had due to evaporation, because what does everybody complain about every day? It's so hot.
It's so hot.
It's so hot. It's so humid. It's hot because the planet is changing. It's humid because your water is evaporating and running away from you. And here you have a machine where you can catch it. You can catch it. And if your neighbor doesn't have one, you can sell water to your neighbor. You'll be the most popular person on the block if you have one of the big machines.
Man, okay, now the other bottom line number is, okay, I guess it would be two different costs. If a farmer, let's say a farmer, or because they have more land than they're like everybody, a machine for a farmer would not be the same size as one for someone's house, correct?
Correct. The like the ag machine, I can design these any way that you actually need.
Okay.
I have a great design team, and I really like them because all I have to do is say a few words, and they already know my thought process.
Oh, good.
So we work closely together. But for an agricultural machine,
right,
that's just a bare bones machine. You don't have to add any filtration or anything on it, and then just have it out there, produce water, and just let it flow into the fields. And you could do this with renewable energy. We have an excess of power that we produce every day, and you can actually coordinate that with the state of Texas to get that excess power because we don't use it, and all the spare power that we have with all the wind turbines that we're putting in. So that power could be directed to these machines and actually used to produce water for free.
Wow.
And the machine won't like an ag machine for your cows or for your livestock and for your fields. You don't have to do anything to it because it needs no chlorination, no filtration. It's just a machine that produces water, comes out, and when it's time to clean it, just spray the whole thing out and just continue on. That's it.
Wow.
Too easy.
And you're right when you say some of the things we were taught in elementary school, and those are the very things that you forget until somebody reminds you.
Oh, people have forgotten way more than that. Let me tell you.
And I should know that I work at an elementary school.
Yes, I never cease to be amazed. Never cease to be amazed.
So actually, the water that the machine you can't even talk. The water that the machine you have produces for families is it better than, I won't name any bottled water company because I'll get murdered for that, but it's better for bottled water companies. I mean, your water, the water that you would teach people that they can pull out and have in their houses is better than the water they buy from the stores.
There's no comparison because a lot of the bottled water that you get,
yes,
basically what it is it's basically purified tap water,
right,
or purified city water,
right.
All these bottled water companies, they don't have their own springs. Some of them do, but many of them are taking water from your public water source,
right,
and putting it in a bottle and selling it back to you at 1,000%, profit. And so, but the water that this machine produces, when the water's produced, where the evaporator is, where that water is produced, right off the coil, when the machine is pristine on the inside, and everything is just perfect, and everything in the machine is made to National Sanitation Foundation 61 standards. So everything in the machine is food grade quality. Okay.
Right.
When I open that side drain before it goes to the back to the storage tank, and that water comes off, pulled straight from the air without any filtration, that is some of the best water you can drink. And then it goes through the filtration just for added security, which is, we even filter the water in our homes.
Right.
And it changes the taste just a little bit, but it's still better than the tap water. And one day we were doing a test over at the military base, and the Lower Colorado River Authority, the LCRA, was out there, and one of the colonels said, "Hey, we need a benchmark. We need to test this water against the water that's in the building." Okay. And then the tester said, "Yes, that's true. We do need a comparison right here." So they took a little test. They took a sample of the water from the machine. One of the soldiers ran in and got some water from the fountain. The tester from the RCA was sitting there, and he was looking down. He was doing his test, and the colonel looked down and said to him, So he goes, so which one should we drink? And he didn't even look up, and he just said, drink from the machine.
Wow.
He goes, drink from the machine. It's better.
Man. So you could actually hold a class to teach people.
Yes, everybody. I think everybody should have a reliable, resilient source of water.
Yes, because water.
And dependable.
Yeah, because our bodies are made up of a large percent of water.
That's right. There's one thing that I went up to a Department of Homeland Security conference. It was held in Tampa, and I went there and gave presentations on the machine and the technology. And one thing that everybody's concerned about these days is not only the contamination that you have in your water.
Right.
Everybody's concerned about cyber attacks. So the next attack on the United States, it won't be landing ships and hitting the shore and troops coming out like during D-Day.
Right.
That's just not going to happen.
Right.
How it's going to be is they're going to shut your grid down. And if they shut your grid down, that's it.
We're done.
There's going to be a lot of pain. There's going to be a lot of pain. But here you have a technology that allows you to stay in place. To stay in place, because the smaller units, they work on solar.
Right.
We will still have the wind energy. We'll still have the solar energy, and you can produce water. Because if the power got cut right now, you can't even pull water from the aquifer.
That's right. Sure couldn't.
That's right. It's stuck. You better get some friends out there and get to digging, and get and find the water table. Because you've got I brief the military on this a lot.
Okay.
So you have when you go without water, you have 3 days before you absolutely need to have a drink.
Yes.
3 days max. Then after about 7 days, you will do some incredible things to find water. After 7 days, people change.
Yes. Yeah.
They change. And here's a technology that allows you to, if I had one of the smaller units, I could actually hook a generator to my bicycle and pump it enough to make water.
Wow.
Yep.
So
put 10 bikes out there and get all your friends out there pedaling the bikes. Shoot, everybody have water, then they'd be in great shape to boot.
That's true. Man, so, this is like phenomenal because, like I said, yes, and I do drink water and do pay attention to, well, I say as best I can, attention to the water that I drink. And I do the necessary things of making sure that I drink the best water that I can. But also, like I said, my fear fact, it's a guy here. His name is Horace Grace. And he used to sit on the water board, and he's the one who started informing us about water. You know, he was slowly, every now you turn around, he would say, give us little things about water. And first I didn't know where he was going with his talk about water. And then finally he said, he was talking about who owns the water, and I had no clue that people owned water. I like, what? You know, and he said a board controls our water. Okay, that made me really nervous, because that meant, you know, that if they sold it, then what do we do? You know, I'm thinking that, what if they sell it? The rights, then what do we do? And then, you know, when you hear about the water levels going low, I'm like, so what do we do? When, you know, I really got concerned about that, and I was like, okay, so what do? We got to have water for something to live. And what's going to happen when they keep saying, you know, this went dry and this went dry, so what are we going to be doing? And then to know that there's an answer for that, I'm like, okay, wait a minute, hold up, why we not on I know why we're not on the same sheet, everybody. I understand why, but my thing is, you know, with what you have and where we're going now needs to come together so that we don't have to go that far.
I agree with you, because just like I said, those 3 sources of water,
right?
in here, in the places around the world, if you look at the equator and go north or south of the equator, that's where some of the highest temperature increases are,
right,
along with the North and South Pole.
Yes.
Antarctica and the Arctic.
Right.
The temperatures are increasing. Okay?
Yes, they are.
And so it's going to get so hot. In India, it's already happened. There's some places where it is absolutely so hot that people will have to make a decision whether they want to live there or move.
Right.
And the same thing will happen here and in South America, Central America. And so the line where people are going to live sometime in the future is going to continue to push north because it's going to be too hot in the center region. Like here, this level in Texas is going south. But the water situation, that means there's more water in the air. And with this technology, you can put in, I've designed a facility. I built it with 50 of the large units, 25, start at 25, build it up to 50, 75, and 100. And 100 is the largest facility that I would ever take under consideration to build, with 100 units in it.
Wow.
We've already got the design for how to do it, and that's enough water there for over 3,000 households.
Wow! So
and you can actually produce that water in Texas because the temperature never gets that cold. There'll probably be a week or two where it won't produce because it's too cold.
Right.
But that's enough water.
Man.
And you could build these systems, continue to build these systems all along the Gulf Coast, all along this line from Texas to San Antonio, and give the aquifer a break and actually recharge the aquifer.
Right. Man. So if anybody wants more information from you or about what's going on, how would they find it?
On Moses West Atmospheric Water Generator Solutions. I'm trying to keep up with that.
Okay.
I appreciate your interview because I love getting the word out and I love talking about this technology.
Yes.
And I've got 3 television interviews coming up here real quick.
Oh, cool.
And I've got a whole stack of stuff to do before I get this unit down to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And that's one thing that your audience can do is get the word out that this unit is moving to where it can do some good.
Yes.
And then I would like to build more units when the word gets out, to build more units and supply Puerto Rico with these units, supply the Virgin Islands with these units, supply Houston, Beaumont, everybody who needs these units.
Okay. All right, well, I want to thank you for being on the show and passing out some good information that everybody will be listening to. And I'm going to follow you on Facebook or wherever I can. But also, when I do another workshop, I'm going to invite you down to come and talk to us.
Okay, I hope I'm here in town.
Okay.
But if I'm not, if I'm in Puerto Rico, I will definitely get to a place where I can do it by phone.
Okay.
I'll be traveling a lot here, and what I need to do this year is I need to be prepared for next year's hurricane season.
Yes, August 1st. Yes, because it's gonna come. Yes,
it will come, and the audience, if they haven't seen the piece that KView did on saving water, that'd be a good place to start. It gives you a lot of good information.
Okay.
And then you can see what this strange guy looks like.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for coming on.
Oh, it was my absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
And like I said, it was eye-opening for me as well as it will be for everybody who's listening. Because, like I said, we don't know. We wonder and concerned. We don't know. Well, now we will know. We have no more reason to say we don't.
That's right. The cavalry has arrived.
That's it. Okay. I want to thank you for coming on Kids Community Connections. And we're going to take a break and come right back.